A lot of people ask these questions, usually at the beginning. Me too, a lot of people, when they start, they ask these questions. But some people, they get obsessed with this question. If they learn a language, they think that they should absolutely learn another language. For example, it is a must to know 10 languages, 5 languages, etc., etc. But this way of thinking is wrong, and let me explain why. When you want to start to learn a language, the first thing that you have to ask yourself is why. Why you should learn this language? Why it is important that I learn this language? For example, let's suppose that you are learning a language, that you want to learn a language to create a website, or for example, you want to learn a language to create a mobile application, or you want to learn a language to work for a company. And I suggest you to learn a language because you want to learn a language. So maybe, yes, you want to work for this company, but before working for this company, so you don't have in mind money, but you have in mind that you want to learn this language and maybe get with it money. The reason why you don't have to take money as your priority is because learning languages is not so easy, and so you have to stick with it days, months, years, even when things get difficult. And if you go with it, you have to learn advanced things about this language. So if your main motivation are money, you will get stressed, and at the end, after 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you may get stressed and you will leave it. So the main response is that you have to learn a language that you want to learn. So for example, I want to make a website. I go and search for the languages that let me create a website. Since there are many and many technologies, you have to choose by looking at what you are looking for. For example, if you want to make a website, only a simple website, maybe you can go with Flutter or React or any other technology, or simply HTML and CSS, or simply using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And it really depends. So you don't, for example, have to learn React and use a framework if your website is only for showing what's your name, who you are, what's your name, and some works that you have done, and you don't need that database, etc. So maybe you don't need all this stuff. So the main thing that you have to give you power to go with what you want to learn is that you have to learn what you need. Not You don't have to learn 20-30 languages because it's useless, and it is not a thing that I say but a lot of people say this thing. For example, if you want to work for companies, the companies don't really see how many languages you know, but they see how much you know about this language. And usually, even Google or other well-known companies, they look for you that you know a language, and a strong language. You know it very well instead of knowing 5 languages, because to know really well 5 languages is not as easy as it sounds. At the beginning, it may sound that it's too easy to learn a language, but then when you get into it, you will understand that the things get more complex. More you learn, and more the things you get complex. This is one of the main reasons why when you do an interview with a company, let's suppose, for example, Amazon, Google, Facebook, etc., the main known companies, they usually ask you which language do you want to use, because the language is a tool, to express your way of thinking. So languages are simply tools. So, and you have to learn a tool when you want to use it. Or you can suppose, for example, let's make this example. Programming languages are really like languages, the common languages that everyone speaks, for example, Italian, English, Japanese, etc. So you will not learn a language if you don't need it. So usually people will not learn 20, 30, 40 languages. You will learn the language when you need it. Usually people go in this way. There are people that learn multiple languages so they can train their brain or just for fun, and this goes the same thing for programming languages. But for the majority of people, they get stressed out because they don't know what to learn, what is important to learn. And so this concept is really important. So you have to understand that programming languages are like languages. If you want to go to live in Italy, for example, you may consider to learn the Italian language. Obviously, you will not learn Chinese if you want to go to Italy. So if you want to go to live in Italy, you learn Italy so you can go and talk with people. And the same thing goes with programming languages. So programming language is a tool that lets you make the thing that you want. So if you want to make a website, maybe I will learn something like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and I will make my website. So I will not learn Java or other things that are not related at the thing that I want. My suggestion is that you go with a language. Yes, maybe look into other languages, but at the beginning, stick with one language, learn it in a good way, learn it, try to go deep in it and understand how it works, because at the end the languages are really similar. So if you want to move from a language to another language, it will take you a little bit, but are really similar. So languages are simply tools. You use them when you need them. When you need a tool, you learn how to use it and you use it. So this is the main goal why you learn languages. So in some ways, you don't have to learn 10, 20 languages, but it's better if you stick at the beginning with one language, and then maybe you can expand to another one. Thank you so much for watching, and check out my channel if you are interested in things like Flutter or web development. I make tutorials and help people. If you're interested on how to use Flutter and you want to use it, I have some tutorials that let you start with the beginning, for example, how to install it on Windows or Linux, and perhaps then you can expand by looking. I don't know if I will have other tutorials. If I don't, there are a lot of YouTubers and they have a lot of good and cool content.